3. We want to welcome everybody today to Mom and Dad Talks, where our favorite two people are Mom and Dad. How you doing, Mom and Dad? Of course, we have special guest Hantie, my other mother. Hantie, wave at everybody. Oh, so beautiful. And today we have two special people, Mr. and Mrs. Carter, my folk, my mentors. There's not enough accolades to say about them. But anyway, today, everybody, we're going to talk about this draft pick, Najee Harris. What do you mean by this? Let me read this story for you real quick and see what you all think. A few hours before the start of the 2021 NFL draft, a former Alabama star, Najee Harris, visited a homeless shelter, Greater Richmond Interfaith program called GRIP, as they hosted a draft watch party in his honor. It was a homecoming of sorts for the Steelers' number 24th pick, as Harris, his 4 children, and his parents lived in that shelter for several years growing up. Harris wasn't just there to say hello, though. He also brought food for the current residents. He told reporters, "There was a time I needed a helping hand. They gave us an opportunity to get back on our feet, so it's my job to give back." It was such a touching story. I could not just let that one go, Mom and Dad. And what do you all think about that story? And what do you think about our place in society, what we need to do?
I think our place in society is to help the poor. Too many times, often we go past the homeless and we think, oh, they're on drugs, or, they're trying to beat the system, or they're trying to hustle. But, we should have a different attitude towards these homeless shelters. They're there for a reason. Mm-hmm. People are homeless for a reason. And yeah, true, it may be some of them are on drugs, but it's not our place to judge.
Right. Who else wants to say something? That's beautiful. Don't be shy.
There's a lot tied to the story, and Najee, he could have easily said, I finally arrived, I've made it, and he could have walked away and not even want to bring up his past. So it's a real testament to the person he is, that he's willing to show gratitude. He has the humility to recognize where he came from, and the willingness to go back and honor those people speaks volumes that mm-hmm. he's a high character young man. Mm-hmm. And so, because oftentimes when people arrive, they can tend to forget where they came from. Mm-hmm. And he's still willing to go back and say, no, if it wasn't for these folks, heaven knows where I would be. So yeah, I applaud his gratitude, his humility, and just the overall testimony that he's given us of how important it is to reach back and to be a blessing to somebody else. And that's why we get blessed, not mm-hmm. for ourselves, but we get blessed so we can bless somebody else. I saw a quotation yesterday that says, if you're not having an impact on somebody else every day, you are really a nobody.
Woo!
And I said, wow. I like that. And that's, as Christians, that's our job, right? We are called to change the world, to be a witness. Mm-hmm. And so we should be having an impact for good on somebody every day. Mm-hmm. If you're not doing that, we are really nobody.
Mm.
Well, wow. When COVID hit last year, and they said that everybody must wear a mask. Mm-hmm. You know what? I thought, that would be a good outreach for me to do. So I fetched material, bought material and started making masks. I have probably made 300 or 400 masks.
Yes, you have.
I've been to places and seen people, and I tell them, this is my ministry. So whatever you want, pick out a mask that you want, pick as many as you want, and so that's what I've been doing. And some of them cannot believe that I'm not going to charge them for anything. Well, I don't know, this experience that I'm going to tell you about mm-hmm. is something that I don't really understand, but I was cleaning out my car last Sunday. Mm-hmm. Well, with the sweeper and every vacuum sweeper, mm-hmm. and you know how those side pockets are in your car. Mm-hmm. Actually, the car, I looked down in that pocket and I saw this bill, some money, mm-hmm. and when I picked it up, it was a $100 bill. Mm-hmm. And I thought, you know what? I commenced to. I knew one person that sat in that seat behind me in that in the back seat. I said, I'm going to call them and ask them if they are missing anything, lost anything. When I called them, they said, no, they didn't lose anything. So I say all that to say this. A lot of times we don't really realize what a help we can be to some, whatever we can be to somebody. Let's do it, because the things that we do for others, they will remember.
Yes.
More, vividly, more than being mistreated.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Hantie, Aunt Nan, what do you want? You have it? Yeah, go ahead, Hantie.
I was just thinking that is the epitome of selflessness. What he did, that was beautiful, and it just makes me think about something my mother always used to say, especially if we see somebody outside holding a sign, trying to get money and whatnot. But for the grace of God, go I. That would be me. So to give back the way he did was absolutely selfless. If we could all do something like that, what kind of world would this be?
Ooh, yeah. Yes. Thank you, Aunt Nancy. Go ahead, Hantie. I know you want to say something. Go ahead, Hantie.
And I really don't want to say anything because I'm throwing a curve.
Oh, a curve. Okay.
I'm throwing a curve, not intentionally, but a self-examination type thing. And, there's a very, very fine line in doing something for the good of God's people, which is what this gentleman was doing, in my estimation. And of course, all of this is my estimation. Yeah. And there's a fine line in that and making yourself feel good.
Yes.
I did so and so and so and so and so and so. When in fact, we have to stay humble in whatever the Lord allows us to do. That's why I say, it sounds like I'm not for this, but I am. Yes. I am for what took place. But does it boost my ego to do something like that? Does it? And that's where the self-examination has to come in. Can I just keep it humble? Bring it down. Bring it down. Oh. The Lord allowed me to do something good like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not judging him. I'm not judging anybody, but we can get caught up in.
You just bring in the other part of it, as some people do. They do it for show rather than I want to bring awareness. And in this case, I believe this young man brought awareness that these guys helped me out when probably a lot of people wouldn't even help my family out like this, or take me in, or take our family. And just be realistic. You're not going to take a stranger in. That's why we have homeless shelters, to help people out when they have problems. And unfortunately, having a cousin who is homeless right now, we talk and everything like that, and I pray for him and see what we can do to help him. It's a real problem, right? You can't house someone forever per se in your house. However, these places are designed to help people get back on their feet, and programs are designed to help people get moving. And we got to support these programs. They actually make a difference in people's lives. I mean, that family was there for a couple years. It wasn't for 6 months. It was a couple years before they got a place to get on their feet. And when you think about that, we can't just take something overnight. And like I said, and thank you for that, Hantie. They're good things to give to. I'll put it like that, because there's a lot of people that need it. And that's what just warmed my heart towards it. That this young man, said, you know what? I want to show people that you help people like me. And y'all know my friend Eric Thomas. Being homeless himself, my boy. Just him talking about eating out of garbage cans and just to survive and stuff. And yes, some of that, you bring onto yourself. But when you're out in the street, that's a hard lesson. Nobody wants to stay out there. I mean, some people may want to, but I don't think like everybody does. So we have a place to play in that and stuff like that. So anybody else have a statement? Go ahead.
But Todd, your mom said it earlier. The lesson is for us not to judge, and we can tend to stigmatize some people, but we don't have enough information to know how things happen. Where, as Nan said, but for the grace of God, it could be one of us. People go through trauma in life. And when you go through trauma,
Yeah.
And you can lose a job, you can lose loved ones. That takes a toll on you. And so you don't know where you could end up, and then opportunities to get back, to be able to be self-actualized, to make a living, may not be available. And so the caution is not to look at somebody and condemn or to judge them, because we don't have enough information. And what we should do is be willing to say, how could we help you? What can we do for you? What are you open to? And if the person is willing, then we offer. But if they're not, then all you can do is continue to pray and encourage that person.
I mean, beautiful words right there. Anybody else want to make any compliments? Any comments before we close out here on Mom and Dad Talks? Anyone else? I mean,
well, all I can say is touch somebody's life with your goodness, and that same touch will come back to you.
That's right.
You know, I can't stress enough. You know, we don't have enough good people doing good things in the world. That's why bad people take over. And so I just want to commend everybody today that, you know what, you can make a difference. You know, you may not be a preacher, but you do have some finances, and your duck makes a big difference for these food shelters and homeless shelters. A lot of people starving today. COVID is real. People are losing jobs. People are losing homes, folks. And the world needs us more now than we never ever needed us before. Those of us who do have. And for us not to give back and contribute is making the world a worse place. So I hope today you donate, you give back. I commend this young man at the age of 23 doing this, because frankly, you don't see a lot of 23-year-olds be that considerate this day and age. And when you do, appreciate them. There's some good people out there.
I'm sure you've heard, you know, we're told that our world doesn't have a lack of resources, but it's just greed.
Yeah.
If the 1% would be willing to share, we could take care of everybody.
Yeah.
But greed is destroying our world. It's not a lack of resources.
Right.
It's outright greed.
Well said. Well said. Well, you know, that will. Anybody else want to say anything before we let go? Yeah, leave Mom and Dad Talks today. All right. Well, you know, I hope everybody enjoyed Mom and Dad Talks today. With our special guests, you know, the Carters, Hantie, my mom and dad. Always great to have you. This was a very powerful. Shed some tears to my eyes today, folks. So anyway, well, we hope to see you all next time on Mom and Dad Talks. See you all next week on Mom and Dad Talks.
Where will you be? Wait. Where will you be next week?
I mean, the week after next week. It's Mother's Day.
Yeah. Are you going to do Mom and Dad Talks next week?
Yeah, we'll do Mom and Dad Talks next week.
Live.
Where will you be?
Isn't next week Mother's Day?
Yeah, live.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at home on Mother's Day with my mom.
No other.
Yes, my mom's. Hantie and Mom. Come on now.
And dads.
Well, you know, it's Mother's Day, so Dad, we'll get you on Father's Day, but it's Mother's Day. So we don't want to jack it up too much. We've already messed up already. So I love you guys. Till next time on Mom and Dad Talks. Have a good one.
Venezuela.
All right.